What's up, y'all? Y'all, I have to always give it a little chance to, just to make sure that it's going. Yep, it is going. Okay, perfect. Y'all, what's going on? See, I've got. Looks like it's going. It's working. It's working. It's working. Y'all, I grabbed the wrong size of ribbon. I grabbed the 2.5 inch when I need the 1.5 inch. What's going on? Y'all, so today, I have all this, y'all, I have a lot of fall stuff still. And I'm like, you know what, I'm done with fall. No, but I can't be done with fall. So this is a container that I prepped back in probably February, March. So I had really grand, illustrious plans to make a really pretty centerpiece with this, and we're gonna do it today here on the DecoExchange YouTube channel. So y'all, I've already prepped this. What I did was, this was just a regular brown crate, a really pretty long brown crate. I want to say I got this for like $4.99 or $5.99 at a discount store. So I love discount stores like TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Home Goods, Burlington, Burke's, places like that, because you can find really cool containers and really pretty containers for a really reasonable price. So I think this one was like $5. And y'all, all I did was I wrapped some ribbon around it, and then I layered it with some green, and then I put some foam right in the middle of it, right in there. So it's already glued down, y'all. I know you're gonna miss that part, but all it was just gluing down the foam in there. Now on the back side, on the bottom side you can see the foam, but on the side profile you can't see the foam because I wrapped it with ribbon. And I am gonna add another layer of ribbon on this, which is this 1.5 inch scalloped jute ribbon, which I really love. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna add that right here on top of this green. Y'all, I love this color combo. I love this color combination for every day. I also love it for fall. So it's the moss, the moss green, the whites, the creams, the beiges, the tans, all of that. So I love this color combo for fall as well. And you'll see it with all the stuff that I have, because I do have pumpkins and I have some picks and stems. So I am just gluing that on there, trying really hard not to burn myself, because I don't want to have any burnt fingers. I burnt myself yesterday on my finger. So I'm just wrapping that around, y'all. And I'm just gluing that back down. It's adding that little bit of rustic to it. Y'all, I almost was so tempted to touch that with my finger. Okay, so go. Just gonna trim that up, and that's probably about the last of the ribbon we're gonna use. Probably, I'm not sure, but we'll see as I go. Okay, so if you've followed before, you know I'm not the biggest fan of moss. I'm not, but what I do like is this bush from Hobby Lobby. This is the 139 1994. This is it's usually on sale every other week. Every time I buy it, it's usually on sale. But I think it's the dill bush, and it's really great. It's a really nice filler. So we're gonna use this as our kind of as our moss, or as our base for our greenery. Okay, I am gonna need to cut this down a bit. So I'm gonna cut off, let's say, about 2 inches of that bush off. And I do have 4, so we're gonna put 1, 2, 3, 4. Good morning, y'all. Putting that right there in the foam. Centerpieces are great to have just, on your table, especially for Thanksgiving. And I love this style of centerpiece because it's kind of a low profile one. It's not tall. I don't like to have a big obstructed view, like if you're sitting at a table or something. I don't want that to happen, because you still want to be able to see the people across the table. So we've got our So instead of cutting this up piece by piece, I'm using the whole bush, y'all. I'm just sticking the whole bush in there. Fluffing that out. Now I am making sure that I'm not just sticking this bush in there just without fluffing it out. I'm trying to make sure that I do fluff out that greenery. So look how pretty that already looks, y'all. So we're just gonna go and we're adding our greenery, our bushes. This one I did cut a stem off, but you know what? It's okay because I can still use it. I am pre-poking the So, y'all, look at that already. You could very well do that and have a really pretty centerpiece for your table all year long. You can still see some of the foam, so I would increase the number to probably either 6 or 7 bushes of that, and you would have a really pretty greenery centerpiece, just a regular greenery centerpiece, something that you could interchange out through the seasons. So a lot of companies, like this one came from Hobby Lobby, have stuff like this on stems. You can just fold that stem in, and you could very well set that in your greenery just like that. But today we're gluing, y'all, because like I said, I think I've had this container ready for this project since April, May. Who knows, y'all? Who knows at this rate? Okay, so I do have a jeweled, glittered pumpkin. I got this at another discount store, y'all. This may have come from the same discount store that I got this one. So y'all always check out for places where you can find stuff just like this. It is in the same colors of green. So I'm sticking with the greens and the creams and the beiges, and we're adding a little bit of glitter. So I am going to add some of these glittered fern leaves. They do match our glitter on the pumpkins. So, and we're also going to add some succulents, y'all. Succulents and fall go really, really pretty together in my opinion. So that's what we're going to do. Now, to add some of these pumpkins into your design, you can use skewers. I've noticed lately though, like the barbecue skewers aren't as thick as they used to, so I moved up to a dowel rod, which I don't know what size of dowel rod this is, y'all, but that's the size of dowel rod that we're using. So we're going to go ahead and just, these are foam, so I am just pre-poking a little bit of a hole in there. We're pre-poking a little bit of a hole, and then I'm going to trim down my skewer. my dowel rod, y'all, and we're just gonna start adding our stuff in. So these already have the stem on them. I did get these at Hobby Lobby. These are kind of a staple in their store during the fall season, but I love the greenery on it, so I'm just going to keep it as is. I am just going to trim that stem down because I don't need that long stem. We're going to add some glue. And then so I kind of work in threes on this, y'all. We're going to work in the threes, and I'm going to apply this succulent right there in the back. Look how pretty that looks, y'all. So just adding some glue. Hold on, let me see if I have one more of these. I do have one more of these, so I want to be able to put one here and one down here on the edge, but so it's not going to all be in a straight line. So I want to put this one kind of angled a little bit more outwards, and the same on this side right here. Okay, and then we're going to be able to fill in with a lot of our greenery that I have, some of our picks and stems. Y'all, when you're making an arrangement, try and find the easiest way to make that arrangement, because this is taking up a lot of the surface area. These pumpkins are taking up a lot of that surface area, so the more it takes up, the less product you really have to use. Okay? The less product you use, the better, right? So I do have this stem right here, and it's got some berries on it, and I kind of want to use this, but it's all intertwined together, so I'm going to cut that up into some smaller pieces. This one did come from Hobby Lobby as well. Y'all, they did wrap this up with some twiggies, so hopefully I can get those twiggies out of there, and we can probably use those as well, using as much of our stuff that we can as possible. There's that. And then we have, y'all, so this is just wired twigs, and I love that. Look how pretty that is right there. That just came off of that one stem. Are you using the succulent in place of a faux cabbage? You can definitely do that. You could do a faux cabbage as well. That's really popular, especially during Easter, the faux cabbages. But I would use that as a faux cabbage. I think it's got a really pretty focal point. That the succulent. Good morning, Michelle. Okay. So then I'm adding these in kind of in a triangle motion. So I'm going to put one here, and then there's going to be another one right back here. got our third piece right back here. And I'm making sure to stick all of this just in the foam, y'all. You can hear the crunch. If you can't hear the crunch when you're sticking your florals in there, that most likely means you did not get any of the foam. So definitely go back and double check that you got all the foam in there. Okay, so y'all look how pretty that looks. So this is, I really definitely want this to be the front. So I am kind of designing it more from the back to the front. That way you guys can see that succulent. Now I do have some peonies. I do have, like I have these twiggy branches, y'all, and I'm thinking we could definitely add these in a little bit towards the end so they don't get lost in there. So I'm going to put those off to the side. One of my favorite stems from Michaels, y'all. This is one of my favorite ones. I know I probably say I have a lot of favorites because I do love a lot of florals, but this one's probably one of my favorites. You can cut this up into so many little pieces. I think I can get 6 pieces out of this, if I'm not mistaken. Might be a little bit more, who knows. But this leaf stem was one of my favorites, and it's been one of my favorites for a few years already. And it did, during Easter, it did come in yellow and pink, and then during the spring, it actually came in a black from Michaels. But if you can't find any, you can always use a dupe, like something that looks similar, not exact, but just similar to it. Okay, so I'm just coming in, adding So I did say if you had the greenery in there and you just did a greenery base at the beginning, you could definitely switch it out per season. But this one I am making a fall centerpiece, so I did use that as my base greenery, and I am gluing all the stuff in. But without gluing all of the stuff in, and you add 7 of those dill bushes from Hobby Lobby in that container, or however many you're going to need for that container, you would have a really pretty base just to have for a centerpiece. So I was just kind of using that as an example of what you could do with it once I added all that greenery, because it did look really pretty with just the greenery in it. So I'm just adding this throughout. This is the eye. Look how much of that one. I just used one stem, and I was able to get all those little pieces off of it. So really, really happy about that. And then adding more there. Nope, I don't. Okay. So we're gluing these pieces in. I'm trying to make sure I'm not missing any comments, questions. I do try my best to answer all of those. Sometimes I miss some, but sometimes I do get all of them. Look how pretty that looks. And look how we added that jute ribbon, so it kind of tones down that green, but look how pretty that looks. So next we're going to go ahead and we're going to add some peonies. I really do love these peonies. They are a nice green color. I think I got these from shoplikejordan.com. I don't know if they have any more, y'all, but I do have these, and I also have these sunflower stems. Now these sunflower stems did come from Hobby Lobby. They were $3.99, and such a really pretty sunflower. I love sunflowers. My mom hates sunflowers, so I use a lot of sunflowers. I'm sorry, late to the party. What did you put the centerpiece into? So, the beginning of it is I did add some foam into my so this was a container that I already had pre-foamed. I've had it pre-foamed since probably, I want to say March, April, I can't remember. But all I did was just glue some block foam in there. You can probably see it right there on the bottom. Y'all, there is foam in there. And then I wrapped it with some ribbon, and then I added this one this morning. This jute one right here on the live. I did add that. And then all I added was 4 of the dill bush. This one, Michelle. That dill bush from Hobby Lobby. I used 4 of them as just my base greenery. Because a lot of people don't know this, but I'm not a big moss fan. So if I can avoid using moss at all costs, I will. If you have a hard time sticking some of your florals into your foam or whatever it might be, look how pretty that looks together, y'all. That sunflower with that peony and that pumpkin right there. I'm definitely going to go through my pile of succulents and add a succulent right back here. I have some that kind of have a little bit of a trail to it, so I might add that in. I'm not sure. But when I get to the succulent part, I'll definitely do that. But if you're having a hard time sticking some of your florals in, because sometimes the flat edge just doesn't go in the foam, you can just cut that at an angle, kind of creating that little point in there. Hopefully you guys can see that. Creating that little point to your florals, and it's going to allow that to go in a little bit easier. Remember, like I said, if you can't hear the crunch, most likely it did not go in the foam. So you want to make sure you can hear that crunch. Like right there, you see I heard the crunch. So I know it went in that foam. So I am turning this around to me so I can see what y'all are seeing. Y'all see, like, if you're a creator and you know, like, you bought, I know at one point shoplikeJordan.com, which is my affiliate with DecoExchange, had some really pretty succulents, and I'm pretty sure we did those on a live sale multiple times. So if you have those and you don't know what to do with them, y'all, people love succulents and cream, even orange. If you want to do orange, you can put orange in here as well. I did the creams and the greens because that's what I already had my base kind of already prepped as. But a lot of people love the succulents. Coach Tammy, one of our creative coaches, for our next creative workshop in September, we pre-record one tutorial and then we do one on a live. Well, she did one with succulents, y'all. She did a really pretty orange pumpkin, and it's got succulents all on the top. Really, really pretty. And I know I've seen those all over the internet. In those colors of the. It wasn't so much the creams and the greens, but it was orange, and it had a bunch of different succulents all up at the top. So definitely think about that when if you have stuff in your stash already, y'all. Cause y'all, I joke around with my mom. I'm like, I'm going to Hobby Lobby, and I'm really not going to Hobby Lobby. I'm literally shopping my stash. So. So if you know you have something, don't be afraid to use it. And try it, because you might like it. Like the way Coach Megan says it. Try it, you might like it. Like, yo, I tried crawfish. I did not like it. But at least I tried it. Okay, so I'm seeing the front of this, and I've got a little bit of a hole right here. Now I could add a large succulent if I wanted to, but I feel like those two are competing with each other. So I'm gonna move on to something that's a little bit smaller, like a little grouping of succulents. I would rather much do that. And I do get a lot of my succulents at Michael's. Y'all, the best time to get them, I'm gonna be just 100% honest with y'all, is when they have them on sale. Because succulents are not the cheapest. They are not the cheapest, so always get them when they're on sale. Unless you find a really good deal. I've found some really pretty ones at places like the Dollar Tree, so you could always check there too. I want to tell you what I'm also guilty of is if I see a faux plant with some succulents in it, and it's like $2, I will buy that faux plant and that container because I'm going to take those succulents out of it. Put some more glue in there. You know, that one little bead of glue is not going to cut it for me. Okay, remember how I said I do have a little bit of a hole back here? I'm going to use this succulent. I don't know what kind it is, but it's really pretty. I did get that one, I think, at Hobby Lobby. Nope, I did get that one at Michael's as well. But I love that little cluster of succulents right there. And I did put my little knife edge on that. So I have a little bit of a gap right here. I'm going to use that, y'all. If your peonies come a little bit smushed, you can always twist them just a little bit, kind of liven them up. If you want to, you can also use a steamer, like a clothing steamer, that you use to steam your clothes, and you just put that right in the front of it, and it really starts perking those flowers back up. But I just twisted that because it was a little bit smushed. All I did was just twist those petals back, and now it's really nice and full. And just put my hand down in there just a little bit. There we go. This looks so pretty. And now, remember how I said we're going to save those twiggy branches for the end? That's exactly what I'm going to do. I did save those for the end because we're basically done with it, but I want to add a little bit of that natural looking element. These are a faux floral, so that's what's really great. They're wired, so you can curl up all those little curls again if you need to. So love that, because if you were to use real branches, they're not as flexible. So let me make sure. See, so it just curls right back up, y'all. Put that and that. And this one I am going to trim because this is going to go right here in the center. And y'all, I think we're done. Let me, because this one has a little bit of a wire on it. So I'm going to go ahead and add this here towards the end, kind of peeking out. I don't know what kind of succulent that is, but it's really pretty. And I can put one on the opposite end as well. So just extending that out just a little bit more. And y'all, we're done. Look how pretty that is. You can still see part of the ribbon. It's just hanging, the succulents are hanging over. Really pretty. I'm grabbing the wrong hand. But y'all, you can have that. The succulents. You've got the pumpkins. And I'll show you a top view of it. Really, really pretty. So this side was our main focal point side. So this was our main one. Now, if you wanted to, you could definitely keep this the middle. And if you wanted to, instead of the sunflower back here, you could have definitely put another succulent so it ties it all in and you can have the same thing on both sides. But y'all, this succulent is really, really pretty, but it's also pretty pricey. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to have to pick my battles, and I'm going to just put one in there versus the two. Okay? Now, if you wanted to, you could add a little bit more glitz and glam. As I was designing it, I thought, when I was picking out my stuff, y'all, I thought I was going to use these. But as I was designing it, I'm like, I don't think I need those glittered fern leaves. I really don't think I needed them. So you could add these in as well. These are really great because they pop out just like that, y'all. Just like that. So I can show you what it would look like. You know what, y'all? Let's just go for it. Let's just go for it. Who cares? We're going to do it. I said I wasn't going to do it, but you know what? I pulled that stuff out and I'm like, I need to use it. But this is the champagne colored one from Hobby Lobby. So We're just gonna add 3. That's it. That's gonna be all of the glitz and glamour we're gonna add to this. Yes, perfect. I think that's just the right touch of that champagne color. That one, the SKU on that one is CP1605. CP1605. You can get that at Hobby Lobby in the Christmas section, the seasonal section, the Christmas department. So, y'all, I buy that one in all the colors when I see it. I buy it in silver, the white, the gold, the champagne. Can't remember what other. I think there's another color, but I can't remember. And the white. The white is a staple for me. I'll show you the white. This does come from Hobby Lobby. This is a staple for me that I use every single year, and I make sure I buy lots of it. Okay, but y'all, there is our arrangement. Took us probably, without even talking, y'all, you could probably do this in 30 minutes without all the talking, maybe even 20. Okay, but really, really pretty fall succulent pumpkin arrangement. Perfect for that dining room table, that entry table, coffee table, whatever kind of table you want to put it on. Y'all, I think this came out really, really pretty. So we started off with our base, which I had already pre-foamed and pre-wrapped with the ribbon. But y'all, that was just gluing down foam, so it really didn't miss much. I did glue down that foam about March, April. I'm telling you, I can't remember, y'all. I'm telling you, it was probably about 5 months ago that I did that. So I've had this kind of sitting around for a while. But then I added 4 bushes of the dill bush from Hobby Lobby. We made that our base greenery because, like I said, I don't like using moss. If you want to use moss, you definitely can. But using that bush really helped fill in a lot of the little nooks and the crannies and the gaps. We added in our pumpkins, our 2 pumpkins here. Then we added our succulent, and then we came in and we started adding our other pumpkins throughout. And then we added our sunflowers, our peonies, and more succulents, some more of the smaller succulents. It's always good to use the smaller succulents towards the end of your project because you don't want them to get lost in there. If you were to put that small succulent in first, it's going to get lost if you're going to add something big to it. Now, the main thing too was we used really big, bulky items to fill up a lot of our space. So we used these big pumpkins, we used the big succulent, the sunflowers, so that filled in a lot of our space. So it kind of cut down on how much stuff we put in there. Now, I did still put a lot in here, but you can always do it on a more minimal scale. If you only have 1 pumpkin, 1 succulent, and a few peonies and sunflowers, you can make a smaller arrangement, y'all. Don't think you always have to go big or go home. You can make smaller ones. But y'all, that's all I have for y'all. I'll show y'all once again. Y'all, thanks for hanging out with me today. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't done so already, and that way you can get notifications when we go live, because this is a live, y'all, and you can always catch the replay. The replays are always available, as well as all the rest of the videos here on the YouTube channel. You can go back, rewind, fast forward, however many times you want to. You can also follow us on Facebook. That's where we are, DecoExchange. And if you want to, you can also join us in the creative coaching group. That's you can go to createwithjordan.com. I had to think about it, y'all. Okay.